Greetings, internet people. Welcome to the Murder Drones iceberg. In case you don't know what an iceberg is, the meme's been done for like a year now. I think you know what an iceberg is. It's just known stuff on top and the obscure stuff on the bottom. No, and of course, spoilers for the entire series, which as of writing is 8 episodes long. Okay, let's get right into it. Liam Vickers is an animator and showrunner, and he is the writer and director for Murder Drones. He's been making animation for many years, but Murder Drones is his first project that was picked up by an animation studio. He is pretty much the leading canon authority on all things Murder Drones, as, he made it. Pretty much since the release of episode 2 Heartbeat, we've had a constant barrage of merchandise. There are of course the plushes, some clothing, pins, various figurines, and of course, dog. I've always wanted to buy some for myself, but European problems, am I right? Witch Productions is the Australian independent animation studio that made Murder Drones. They also made other web series, such as Meta Runner and The Amazing Digital Circus. AJ Despirito is the electronic music producer that composed the score for Murder Drones, except for that one track that Liam used in the trailer. And gotta say, the stuff he made for Murder Drones slaps. This is something the show itself kinda started, but ever since episode 1, there's been general discourse in the community about, shipping. And trust me, these internet people are vicious when the show first came out. Now that it's been cleared up by the show itself, it's calmed down a bit. The lead voice actors in Murder Drones actually have shown to care about the show quite a lot. They've been in several interviews and engaged with the community in general. In case you don't know, some of the main cast is Michael Kovac for N, LZ Lovelock for Uzi, and Noah Klopp for V. The show has a lot of split-second blink and you'll miss it moments that are quite humorous at times and or reference other pieces of media. These are some of my favorites. The Worker Drones originally used to have work clothes, most likely manufactured by J.C. Jensen, but after the core meltdown, the drones started using human clothes, which they got from the human skeletons laying around everywhere. The Murder Drones fanbase is known for many things: being horny, making great art, being horny, thirsting over all of the characters, being horny, and, of course, being horny. What a lovely community right there. This is something the show pretty much shows up front. Before being sent off to Copper 9, Jay's squad of disassembly drones were simply disposed worker drones who worked at the Elliott Mansion. How they became disassembly drones is something we do not know quite clearly, but it was just most likely Sin rebuilding them. The disassembly drones are very much based on vampires. They need blood, or oil in their case, to survive. They burn up in the sun, and they sleep hanging upside down. Liam Vickers also states angels as a source of inspiration. JC Jensen is the company who created the worker drones and sent them out to mine exoplanets. Tess's old dead corpse is shown to be working for them. The disassembly drones, Jay especially, have got some loyalty to them. Matthew Patrick, known online as MatPat, is an online internet personality, known for his YouTube channels Game Theory and Film Theory. On the latter channel, he's made a theory about the ending of Season 1 of Murder Drones, from which of course comes the iconic
"Can't talk about murder drones without talking about World War II."
His theory and arguments for the serial designation S theory have been rejected by most of the community, and he's also been accused of just jumping on whatever is popular, no matter his personal attachment to it. But overall, his impact on Murder Drones is definitely more positive than negative, as he exposed the show to people who otherwise wouldn't have known about it. Also, I wrote this part of the script before MatPat announced he'd be stepping away from Game Theory and his other channels and then retiring. Well, not even 10 years was enough to solve the FNAF lore. Thanks for my childhood, MatPat, though. The Heckler & Koch Maschinenpistole 5, also known as the HK-MP5, is a German submachine gun that appears in Murder Drones as the disassembly drone's guns. While it is unnamed in the series, it is quite obviously the MP5. The Amazing Digital Circus is an indie animated show also made by Glitch. It has massively exploded in popularity, overtaking Murder Drones in views very soon after its premiere. Many voice actors are shared between the two shows because the indie voice actor field isn't really that big. There are also some crackpot theories about the two sharing a universe, but no evidence for those. The creator of The Amazing Digital Circus, Gooseworks, has also drawn Anne in her style, and it's creepy as heck. An Uzi, if you didn't know, is a 1950s submachine gun invented by Uziel Gal, who, bonus fact, actually didn't want to have his name attached to the weapon. Anyway, this is a pretty fitting name for our protagonist, as she constructs herself a gun. "3071 is the year the main plot of Murder Drones takes place, as shown on the prom decor. Liam Vickers has stated that he only provided a year to go off of instead of a more complete timeline to avoid writing himself into a corner. Camp 98.7 is the camp that Uzi and her classmates go to in episode 4, Cabin Fever. Her dad, Khan, her mother Nori, and Eva have also gone there when they were about her age. It seems to be some kind of surface outpost of Cabin Fever Labs, which is located not far away from it. During the run of the show, there were many teasers for Murder Drones, which served to promote the, at the time, upcoming episodes. Some are just footage from the respective episode, while others, like the teaser for episode 4, Cabin Fever, are actually completely original. The show, aside from the main cast, has many background characters, some of which have been named, but a lot of them are just left without a name, such as the detective drone from episode 2. The more notable ones have their own entries later on. GLaDOS is the antagonist of the Portal series of games developed by Valve Software. The reason she is in this iceberg is that the voice of the episode solver, or Sin, is very clearly based off of the voice of GLaDOS. It's been made quite clear that the hair of the disassembly drones is human hair.
And where's she getting the hair to play dress up with them? Creepy.
The worker drone hair, on the other hand, is most likely synthetic, as all the humans just sort of evaporated after the meltdown with only their skeletons remaining. The worker drones must have acquired their hair from somewhere on their own, as they are all shown to be bald pre-meltdown. People since the dawn of time have made their original characters known on the internet as OCs. The simple style but recognizability of the Murder Drones characters lends itself to OCs very well. In early March of 2024, some glitch drama went down, the super short summary of which is: the voice actor of Tari from SMG4 was suddenly replaced out of nowhere, which he didn't know about. Chaos ensues. People use the chaos to promote Glassdoor reviews, stating that the working conditions of the glitch are very bad. People now hate glitch productions until Kevin Lord Vichigul releases a statement in which he admits that the conditions were indeed quite bad and apologizes. This whole situation is quite messy, so I will not be delving into it any further, but the most important thing that came of this is the further delaying of Murder Drones Episode 8 into the August of 2024, rather than the spring of that year as promised earlier in the Episode 7 and 8 teaser. The Absolute Solver is the central antagonist of the whole series. It is a computer virus that thrives in damaged robots and gives them special abilities. Worker drones need to be properly destroyed in a dedicated machine to prevent the Absolute Solver from manifesting. While its goal isn't quite clear, it is most likely just to destroy everything in the universe with no deeper motives than that. SMG4 is the original animation project of Luke Lord Vichigul, dating all the way back to 2011. It is a comedy show machinima animated in Gmod. The money from its success was used by Luke and his brother Kevin to create Glitch Productions. Luke sometimes also goes by SMG4 online. Doorman is Uzi's last name. It is also the last name of Khan and the married last name of Nori. We do not know of her maiden name. The name Doorman likely comes from what Khan did for a living, that being making doors. It is actually how surnames worked in the olden days. The surname isn't altered in most dubs, however it is in some. For example, the Spanish dub translated it as Portero for Khan and Portera for Uzi and Nori, both of which just mean doorman in Spanish, while the Russian dub has Dverchenko. Despite what Uzi says, the gun she crafts herself is not a railgun. Railguns are massive projectile launchers that fire a big, heavy projectile. What Uzi actually has would be called a ray gun, R-A-Y, a sci-fi weapon that fires rays or lasers. The team is proudly aware of this, as evidenced by the revolver plaque in Episode 5, Home. I love doing anything is an iconic phrase said by N in the pilot. He then continues using it throughout the series, and it kind of became his catchphrase. Cabin Fever Labs is a research facility that Nori, Alice, Yeva, and O29 worked at / were kept at. From what the keybug displays in Episode 4, it appears that the drones at Cabin Fever Labs weren't treated the best, also evidenced by the presence of anti-drone sentinels, made specifically to kill, well, drones. If what that possessed Tessa says is to be believed.
Why involve Doll? What's happening to her?
She reckons the humans did something to her folks down here. Gave them a sickness she inherited.
This was also the place where the drones were affected with the Solver, although not all drones found there have the Solver, such as Alice and O29. All of the drones employed there have numbers: 002 for Nori, 048 for Yeva, 017 for Alice, and 029, whose name is Amda, as was revealed in Episode 7, as Destruction. During GlitchX 2023, as part of the voice actor game show, Michael Kovac narrated the infamous Navy SEAL copy pasta in N's voice.
What did you just say about me, you little I'll have you know, I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids, and I have 300 confirmed kills. I am trained in guerrilla warfare, and I'm the top sniper in the entire U.S. Armed Forces. You are nothing to me, but just another target. I will wipe you out with the precision the likes of which has never been seen before on this earth. Mark my words. You think you can get away with saying shit to me over the internet? Think again. You're dead, kid. I can be anywhere, anytime, and I can kill you in over 700 ways. And that's just with my bare hands. If only you could have known what unholy retribution your little clever comment was about to bring down upon you, maybe you would have held your tongue. But you couldn't. You didn't. And now you're paying the price, you goddamn idiot. I will fury all over you and you will drown in it. You're dead, kiddo.
This is officially the first time Anne has sworn, and the second time that swearing appeared in Murder Drones if you count that one time in episode 3.
What the f...
The first 6 episodes of Murder Drones feature a different intro than the one currently in use. This change happened after GlitchX 2023, where a new logo for Glitch Productions was adopted. Lots of fans have made fan animations based off the show, be it 2D or 3D. We will talk about the most notable one later on. After episode 3, The Promening, Doll has a big red eye patch over her right eye. She does this to cover up her Solver eye, and later the whole Solver eats in her face. The Elliot family is a human family from Earth that owns the Elliot Mansion. They appear to be nobles, and if not that, then at least very rich. Tessa James Elliot is probably the most important member of the Elliot family for the story of Murder Drones, but some other members are her parents Louisa and James Elliot. They are most likely Australian. This is supported by a statement from Tessa's VA, Step Crothers. The cast of the show have been in 2 interviews, at least that we know of, only one of which is actually a real interview, but come on, fuck you, it was a Q&A stream, same thing really. They have mostly been about how they came to voice their respective characters. The first one was conducted by the YouTube channel Cartoon Universe right after episode 3, The Promening, released. Featured Michael Kovac, voice of Anne, LZ Lovelock, voice of Uzi, and Noah Klopp, voice of V. It's quite entertaining and informative, I recommend you watch it. The second was released right after episode 4, Cabin Fever, and is on the Streamily YouTube channel. This one's a bit less interesting, but definitely worth watching too. GlitchX is an annual livestream event hosted on the Glitch Productions channel. GlitchX 2023 featured Lane Vickers as part of the Murder Drones Q&A. The stream also had LZ Lovelock and Michael Kovac in the voice actor game show, which LZ Lovelock won. Copper 9 is the planet that the main plot of the show takes place on. It was a human exoplanet, most likely used for mining, well, copper, going off its name. Judging of the 9 in the name, there are other planets in this system. It used to be somewhat habitable by humans before the core meltdown, which caused something similar to a nuclear winter. According to the fake possessed Tessa, the air is toxic now and unbreathable by humans, even with spacesuits. Be honest with yourself, we all used to draw these in elementary. Some claim that this also ties back to the serial designation as theory, but most likely not. In Universe, JC Jensen makes and then gives these branded pens to its best employees. One is also used by Uzi to nearly kill Jay, which he then actually kills, but not really. Anyways, these were so popular that Glitch actually started making these. They come with a nice company letter. Several promotional videos were released for Murder Drones over the run of the show. By promotional videos, I mean videos made to promote merchandise. Teasers will be mentioned at a later time. The first is N wakes up as a Mark Zibble figurine.
What those doing on the floor?
Oh, thank RoboGod. Maybe he'll save us.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
Hey, don't want to inconvenience you, just,
And then there is N takes his final form. When I first saw the video, and I imagine most people did too, I thought it was gonna be another teaser for episode 7 and 8. And well, it wasn't really. Also, unpopular opinion, I don't like the N dog. Yes, I know, dog is funny, dog is cute, and N is funny, N is cute, but this thing, man, I don't like it. Before the release of episode 7, all of its accompanying merchandise was leaked by someone on TikTok through means I do not fully understand. But yeah, we knew about all the merch more than 2 weeks before the premiere of episode 7 Mass Destruction. So when the Corporate Hell merch wave was revealed just a few days later after the episode came out, it was kind of an even bigger letdown. People only really liked the J plush and the doll animates and nothing more than that. Materona was the first show produced by Glitch Productions. The show was a fairly major success right out of the oven, which led to Glitch Productions getting recognized and being able to put out more stuff. It however got overtaken by Murder Drones pretty much right as it launched in terms of views, even though Metarunner was ending at that point. Liam Vickers has given a few interviews in relation to Murder Drones over the years, regarding how the series came to be and its lore. The most notable are the one in the episode 2 live event, as it was actually conducted in person, with the viewers being able to ask Liam questions they wanted, and the one during GlitchX 2023. All the episodes after episode 3, The Promenade, had teasers released before their premieres. They were mostly small bits of the locations featured in the episode with voice clips over them, but the episode 4 one was actually a bit more interesting. It's basically a found footage film in which Solver Uzi hunts down a student. As you may know, the first episode of Murder Drones came out in 2021, and the 8th episode came out in 2024. That's 3 years give or take, but the time in between episodes definitely wasn't the same for each one. The longest wait was for episode 2 Heartbeat, which was 385 days, a little longer than a year, and the second was for episode 7 Mass Destruction, that being 223 days. By which time I was already in the community and suffering along with everyone else. During these times there was nothing new coming out, except for some new merch sometimes. If you don't know what the storyboard is, then it's essentially just a 2D mock-up of a motion picture made to get a feel for the composition of the final product without actually wasting the effort and money on all of the animation. On various occasions, the storyboards to Murder Drones have been released. Most of these were done by Liam himself, but other people have helped him out with later episodes. If you take a good look at disassembly drones, you will notice several differences between them and worker drones. One of the most visible is the sort of ornament on top of their heads. Those are actually their visual organs, which allow them to see their surroundings in various modes such as infrared vision and ultraviolet vision. This has been sort of challenged, seeing that opaque acid would probably make it harder to see rather than easier, but it's still sort of canon. This is probably the darkest entry in this whole iceberg, but I've put it here since I feel it is quite well known. If you don't know, in early January 2024, a user on r/MurderDrones official posted a suicide message, and from what it seemed, it looked like they had actually gone through with it. The whole thing was resolved a few days later with the user stating that they didn't actually do the deed. I've scribbled out their name over this iceberg in case the user did it as a popularity stunt. Remember, suicide is never a joke. One of the moderators on r/MurderDrones official seemed to have taken the view that the user only did this for popularity and banned them from the subreddit, leaving this disturbing message stating that it would have been better off if they had actually gone through with it. The moderator has been kicked and banned, and the user has been unbanned from the subreddit. Darren is one of Uzi's classmates. In episode 4, Cabin Fever, as he is hiding behind N from the weird silver arrow thing that Uzi accidentally created, Darren kisses N on the hand. First off, can't blame him, I'd probably do the same if I'd been in that situation. And second, this is the only display of anyone being anything but straight in the show. He has a girlfriend, Rebecca, and also kissed N, which means he's probably bisexual to some extent. N was originally supposed to speak with a British accent, however this didn't make it in the final version of the pilot, or the show at all. Michael Kovac has read up some of his lines in the pilot with the accent in an interview, so you can get an idea of how that might have sounded.
Did you just slap me with that arm? I'm Serial Designation N. Nice to meet you. I'm kind of the leader of the squad in this city. That's not true. Everyone tells me I'm useless and terrible.
The only disassembly drone squad we know of as of now is J's squad, counting 3 members, V, J, and M. J, however, does mention other squads. We have never seen any other disassembly drones, and in fact, it's most likely that the other squads are just copies of the 3 we know, as evidenced by Episode 7 Mass Destruction. These were deployed on other planets, or were destroyed by the time of the series. I mean, we do see a lot of dead disassembly drone bodies at Cabin Fever Labs. In 2024, one Reddit user noticed something about the glow in the Elliott Mansion. It seems that its map texture is very similar to the map from the Elder Scrolls games. I personally don't see it, a few details are kind of off, but if it is true, there are 3 explanations. It's either 1, an animator put it in there as an Easter egg, 2, it came pre-installed with the asset pack that episode 4 uses, or 3, the animators just put fantasy map in Google and downloaded the first result. The Lordvitchagul brothers, Kevin and Luke, are the founders of Glitch Productions. They are also the executive producers from Murder Drones. They make appearances in most announcement videos, of course including the ones for Murder Drones. Eternal Dream is a song composed by AJ Disparito and sung by LZ Lovelock, voice of Uzi. It was featured very prominently in episode 6, Dead End. Since the episode release, many of the other VAs have put out their own covers of the song. Some of them are Michael Kovac, Nola Klopp, Alana Fitzgerald, voice of Sin, and Caitlin Dizon, voice of Lizzie.
Please look out for me. Can you set me free? Will you take my soul away? Casting me in cold, bury me in holes, raise me to my leave. Will you take me home? Can we see the moon again? Dancing in the dark till we fall apart. I can't end this dream.
These 2 systems are the only 2 that we know of in the Murder Drones universe except for the Copper system and our solar system. Unlike the Copper system, these aren't named after any particular resource, so we don't exactly know what they were used for, but going off the fact that human greed is eternal, I assume them also to be mining systems. These 2 are displayed on a computer in Cabin Fever Labs, as Tessa is explaining the absolute solver to Anne. Liam Vickers is more of a 2D artist, so his original designs for the characters were a bit different from what we know now. For example, the cross eyes in the disassembly drones were a little bit different. Lizzie's hair ornament changed too, and the disassembly drones had these weird elbow blades. The drones, magnets, apparently have calming and or numbing effects. They are used as sedatives by Alice, which why does she even do that? Like, what is the point? They're already restrained on the table. Magnets are also used by Sam to get high in episode 4 Cabin Fever. meaning he is out of his mind for most of the episode, making you feel even worse when Uzi kills him. Like, my man did nothing wrong here, just let him be. In episode 7, Mass Destruction, we found out that there are many workers that the JC Jensen experimented on. Out of them, only Nori and Yeva have soul powers and managed to survive the ordeal though. Cliffside is an animated pilot made by Liam Vickers, also being his first full-fledged animation project. Had it been greenlit for a full season, I think the character dynamics and the story would have been quite similar to Murder Drones. Sadly though, it never was. At least there's this callback to it in episode 6 Dead End. Murder Drones has quite a wide range of officially produced dubs. Not all of these were fully released yet, and I'm sure I missed some, but here's a brief list of them. English, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Turkish, Ukrainian, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Indonesian, German, French, and Filipino. Considering that a lot of languages didn't get the official treatment, lots of amateur teams of voice actors have taken to redub the show into their language. Among these are Polish and, of course, Czech. The Czech dub is done with a lot of creative liberties, but you go guys, it's great. Finish it, please. Over the years, there have been a lot of Murder Drones fanfics. Some of them good, some of them bad, some of them ugly, but we'll get there. According to this guy's flair on Reddit, there are over 400. So yeah, if you want to read it all, you better start now. Internation Cube is an animated series made by Liam Vickers. And yeah, you guessed it, it's another murder waifus show. The series has been on a 3-year-long hiatus, but maybe it'll come back if Liam has enough free time again. Murder Drones references it a few times, like with V's glasses and the teacher sounding the exact same, because both of them are dubbed by Liam. I recommend you watch it, it's great. Kevin Temmer is the lead animator for Murder Drones. On his channel, Temmer has released a few videos featuring in-production footage of Murder Drones, which is always really cool to see. In the Glitch In announcement video, we got a look at some early concept art from Liam Vickers, which reveals that Jay was originally a male disassemblytron, which led to a lot of the community headcanoning her as transgender. So you go girl. In the outro of episode 1 pilot, we see that there are 3 landing pods on the orbit of Copper 9. This led to theories that there are more disassembly drones on them, which was sort of true in the most pointless sense imaginable, but no, it's mostly just Tessa's old stuff. Before the pilot, there were a few teasers released on both the Glitch Productions channel and the channel of Liam Vickers Animations. These are mostly teasers, clips from the pilot. This may or may not be true, but considering what Lizzie says,
So, forgive and forget, or I'll get my dad to dock your frickin' grades!
and the fact that we know of no other teachers in the series, it is quite likely that the teacher is Lizzie's dad. This has been a hotly debated topic in the community due to mostly shipping. The only thing that is confirmed in this field is that Uzi and her classmates are about 18 to 20. When it comes to all other characters, that is a lot harder, and is where the canon trait disappears, leading us into theory territory. My own headcanon is there was one generation between the core meltdown and the main story of the show. So that makes Khan, Nori, Teacher, Alice, and Doll's parents about 40 years old. The disassembly drones might be around that same age, maybe 40 as well. That of course gets us into nasty territory because there is something wrong about shipping a 20-year-old with a 40-year-old. Yes, they are just robots, but it is still weird. But then again, in episode 4...
I am! Uzi is! She's a kid, like us, V!
So yeah, I just don't know. No one knows, really. This is referring to many artists', well, let's say, lenient approach to the canon character designs. Yeah, some people just love giving these robots boobs.
Pornography has already breached our defenses. Pornography is done to our colleagues.
If you've ever seen any work from the big man Liam Vickers, you'd probably know that there is one character archetype he really loves. Mentally unstable murder waifus. Murder Jones' most prominent character of this type is of course my beloved Serial Designation V. It is quite possible that she was conceptualized as the first character, taking inspiration from previous characters in Liam's other animations. Nori is the mother of Uzi and Eva is the mother of Dahl. They worked at the Cabin Fever Labs and they both have some control of the solver. This, along with the fact that they both had purple hair, has led some people to speculate that Nori and Eva are sisters, making Dahl and Uzi cousins, but that's just a theory.
Of game theory!
When you look at a color wheel, or a color wheel, depending on what you prefer in your language, you generally see that the yellow is opposite the purple. And you know what they say, opposites attract. And who do you know in Murder Jones? That is yellow and purple. Yep, and an Uzi. Just a nice little detail. The PACER test is a running test used to evaluate the general condition and athletic skills of an athlete, or rather child, because the only environment I've ever actually seen it used in is schools. The reason that this is on the iceberg is that LZ Lovelock read out the beginning description of the test you listen to before you actually do it, during GlitchX 2023.
The Fitness Gram PACER test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. The 20-minute PACER test will begin in 30 seconds. Line up at the start. The running speed starts slowly but gets faster each minute after each.
Due to the fact that Copper-9's rotation around its star and its own axis is different than the Earth's, it has an extra month, as evidenced by the episode 4 teaser. If all the months 1 through 12 are the same as on Earth, then the extra month would be called Ceremoris. This may have some meaning in some language, but I don't know. After the release and astounding success of episode 1 of Murder Drones, the show was greenlit for a full season. A short while after that, the season 1 teaser came out. It opens with Solver Uzi in some hallway somewhere, a scene we've yet to see, maybe it was just the concept really. A short interview with Liam Vickers follows. The intro scene is what's the most interesting though, because it looks to be set in some human habitation, maybe the Elliot Mansion? It also doesn't exactly look final to me, maybe it's just something pushed out to appease the fans who had been waiting for a long time at that point. This is actually the only entry that is not scripted, so it's gonna be like a little disjointed, but whatever. After the release of episode 8 of Murder Drones, that being the absolute end, most of the community felt that the episode was a major letdown, and so did I. Here is my live reaction. Okay, so hey guys, it's a little after midnight, and it's like literally 10 or 15 minutes after the premiere of episode 8 of Murder Drones. And my initial feelings about it are, it's, well, sure is something. But yeah, basically it's just like all other Murder Drones episodes, it just went Mach 10, you know, never stopping. It just, you know, always something going on. And I kind of like feel that's a flaw of the whole series, but that's for a whole other debate, which I might actually make. Okay, so V lives. J whatever, may be dead. I don't know. Expected she would like betray Sin or something. The teacher, I'm kind of surprised he doesn't have a single line, like, you know, like voice line. Kind of would thought that, you know, Liam would like to put himself in the finale. Also, the finale was only 20 minutes. I kind of expected it to be up to like 30 or something like that. Very much mixed thoughts on this one. It is good. Maybe I'm just like, you know, inflating it because, you know, it's the last and it just came out like 20 minutes ago. As a finale, it's alright, I guess. Hi guys, I'm back. I woke up and I actually did my shift at the museum, but yes, I thought about the finale of Murder Drones and it is fucking mid. It's just, yeah, just looked at Reddit. Everyone else is saying the same thing. It's just average. The finale is just so average, so safely played. Nothing new. It's just tying off whatever's left. It's almost as if they wanted it to never continue and keep nothing open. Yes, I am happy about the fact that V survived, but that's one fucking way to make nothing feel like it has weight. The only character that's really dead is like Doll and you know, all the side characters, but you know, the only main-esque character that actually had any impact and is dead is like Doll. There's been this message from Gooseworks circulating that you know, Liam actually ended the series because he wanted to end it, but nah, the finale just makes me want to think that it was like really glitch pushing onto Liam, you know. But, you know, it ended everything, but didn't explain what was before the end. The episode was just kind of played so safely, so inoffensively. Nothing new was revealed, and everything that had any meaning was sort of brought back to the status quo. So nothing really happened, and it kind of ended off the series in a bittersweet way. Not like bittersweet in the way that, yeah, it's ending, but yeah, it's fucked up. Kelsey Day is the student killed by Doll in the beginning of episode 3, The Promening. Also, I just love that scene, by the way she reflects off the cleaver as it flies, just, wow, perfect. The reason she is notable is because she, along with the other students on the missing posters and Uzi, she actually has the last name. Does this mean that all of the worker drones have last names? Most likely. Outpost 3 is the location where most of the early series takes place. It's got many smaller buildings inside it, including living quarters, storage area, a school, and a cryogenics chamber, still with dead humans inside, I presume. I don't believe the place is ever called by name, it is just mentioned somewhere. Also, Khan has a certificate from Outpost 9 hung on his door, meaning that he traveled all the way through the wasteland and built the door there. That's some real dedication there. Ron, not to be confused with Ronathan, is one of the few surviving WDF members. He is the one who lets Ann, Thad, and Uzi back into the colony after Thad came back with them. He is voiced by Jasmine Yang, the general manager of Glitch Productions. Ann and Jay both wear these black overcoats with the yellow marked for disassembly R-band, which kinda reminds people of the other armed forces who prominently wore armbands. Yeah, I don't think it was intentional though. Sam is a worker drone most prominently featured in episode 4 Cabin Fever, where he gets high off magnets, is pretty much abused by everyone, and then killed off by Uzi. My man didn't deserve it. Intermission is the first full-length fan episode of Murder Drones made by Gulun Fuchsia. It takes place between episodes 4 and 5. It is a 2D animated storyboard film, which is actually really nicely done, with original music too. Its story is however greatly limited by the fact that it's set in between 2 episodes. It doesn't really match the tone of either episode and is more similar in tone to the pilot, with it being more cheery and wholesome. However, it is still a great piece of work that I recommend you watch yourself. Liam Vickers has released a number of his concept art for Murder Drones. It's quite interesting to look at, if not just for the commentary alone. Here are some of the known ones. .017 as the Cabin Fever employee ID of Alice. This is only visible on her name tag hanging from her antlers and later in the database in episode 7 Mass Destruction. Along with all the other Cabin Fever employees, she dons a grey one-piece robe. She was betrayed by Nori and left to die in Cabin Fever Lab sometime before the core meltdown, although this is still quite unclear. To preserve her mystique, in the Russian dub of the show, Dell actually speaks English instead of Russian, just like everyone else. She's voiced by the same actress, Emma Breezy.
Hi, V. Anyway, you get it. Uzi, you would really side with the murder drones? I'm not the only one who lost family to them. So cute. But I don't need your help.
SGA Fishing is a Reddit user most well known for their elaborate, almost copy-pasta-like thrusting over most of the characters in Murder Drones. There also exists a subreddit dedicated to them r/foundsga fishing. They have been banned from the main r/Murder Drones subreddit a few times. Wise Man said it best. The way he does it, it just transcends being down bad or shitposting. It's like art. Braxton is a worker defense force member that is only seen in episode 1 pilot. He was playing cards with the other WDF members by door 1. As he runs from N, he attempts to tell Uzi his name but dies before he can get to it. Brayden is a worker drone found in Uzi's class whose head was continually on fire in like 3 episodes. He is then killed by Uzi in Cabin Fever. In the German dub, he is called Basti, short for Sebastian. Liam Vickers has stated that the drones don't wear pants many times, to the point it was referenced in the GlitchX 2023 event planner. Originally, drones weren't supposed to wear any clothes at all. However, drones have worn pants in the show, making it even weirder when they don't wear them. Drones that have worn pants include Dapper, Butler, and Camper N, and Brayden, and Camper V, kind of. In her concept art, Jay is referring to her simps, which, yeah, she does have those. Liam also referred to her as a Twitch streamer once. Despite the fact that the drones don't actually need to consume anything, there is food at the prom, which has a sign that it's decoration only. In the very same episode, the teacher is seen drinking out of a flask. And again, worker drones don't need to drink. Maybe it was isopropyl alcohol or something, that would be actually quite funny. Also, both worker and disassembly drones have teeth, with disassembly drones also having tongues and saliva. Why? Because Liam is thirsty, fuck you, that's why. SC Johnson is the real-life company that inspired JC Jensen. They make like hygiene products or something. Oddly enough, their website just won't tell you. Bite Me is the second Murder Drones vocal song, prominently featured in episodes 7 and 8. It is once again made by AJ Desperito, but with vocals by Zephyriana. After episode 8 Absolute End, Desperito also released 2 alternate versions of the track, those being an unaltered vocal version and a Nightcore squared version. Also, am I the only one who thinks the version actually featured in the episode is the worst? I love the double anchor version. After Murder Drones was officially made a series, the thumbnail of episode 1, Pilot, was changed to the one we know and love. Not much more to talk about here. Forever is the closing theme for Murder Drones episode 8 and the series proper. It is made by AJ Desperito and features vocals from him as well. In Murder Drones, we can see that there are robotic cockroaches on Copper 9 and Earth. These are most commonly found near dead drones feasting on them. Liam Vickers confirmed that they're essentially a robotic cleanup crew in GlitchX 2023. Let's Split Up is the earliest accessible video on the Liam Vickers Animation YouTube channel, though it's definitely not his earliest work. Its setting inspired episode 4 Cabin Fever. 029 is a worker drone featured in episode 6 Dead End, where she, dies immediately. She was working in Cabin Fever labs, as evidenced by the fact she has an employee number. Unlike Nori or Yeva though, she doesn't seem to have any solver powers. Her name is Amda, which we found out in episode 7 Mass Destruction. She is voiced by Lizzie Freeman of Pomni fame. Other than the year 3071, we don't know when anything takes place in Murder Drones. We don't know how long the parts between episodes are, nor how long your average worker drone can live for. We don't even know the age of most of the main cast. Liam has said that he did this intentionally as to avoid writing himself into a corner. Emily is the so-called final girl from episode 4 Cabin Fever. She is then later killed by Uzi in the very same episode. Just like Uzi though, she appears to be shorter than the other workers. Peculiar. Serial Designation S is a theory from the days before episode 7 Mass Destruction. It presumes that there is a 4th disassembly drone with the serial designation S, which would help to move the plot forward in some way. While this theory existed before that, it was when MatPack covered it that it truly gained traction. None of this happened, obviously, and the team themselves made fun of it in a merch ad. This theory, I think, was just a big misinterpretation of a document found in a cabin in Camp 98.7, which was actually teasing the Sentinels. I mean, just look at that claw, that's obviously a Sentinel claw. Ronathan, with an O, which I don't think that's a way you can spell that name, is the bus driver from episode 4 Cabin Fever. Seeing that he has a mustache, he might be a dad if you consider this one throwaway line in a piece of concept art to be taken as absolute canon. Because Doll speaks Russian and everyone else understands her no problem, it is most likely that drones can understand all languages. My theory is that JC Jensen distributed the worker drones to several countries, manufacturing drones with many inbuilt languages which the user would simply pick theirs out of during the setup, just like on a new phone. The drones understand all languages so that they can communicate and collaborate together without problems. As Jay says in episode 6 Dead End,
effective drones were cloned more.
This might mean that there are backups of all the disassembly drones stored somewhere. Since only effective drones were cloned more, this might mean that there are a few backups of N and some more of V. Wait, does this mean that all the copies of a drone share a single consciousness? The clone J seems to know what happened to her original. Or was it the original? What happens when one of the copies dies? What do the others know? Do all copies know that there are many others? Could have V just told N in episode 6, "Oh, and don't you worry, you can find my next copy at Planet XYZ if you ever need me," as she was dying. Getting real confused, so let's just move on. In episode 1, as N is introducing J to Uzi in the landing pod, we see a scene displaying the average interaction between J and N.
N, you're worthless and terrible. And if the company allowed it, I would straight up kill you myself.
Jay's awesome!
Notice the little thank
And
you
if
N says. Doesn't this mean he likes this? Is he a submissive, breedable femboy? Penny is a very minor character, only featured in episode 3, The Promening. She's the one who gives the prom queen crown to V and then gets killed by Doll. She's voiced by Elsie LeBlanc. Her name is not spoken, only credited. YouTube user Tax2000 pressed the first 6 episodes of Murder Drones on DVD. It's really cool and well done. Shame that physical media is dying and this will never happen officially. Cheer Puppy 14 is a digital artist. She made some art that got used in official capacity. She's behind the Murder Drones hand keychains and these cards that you can get signed by Michael Kovac. As the show got greenlit for a full season, some changes were made to it. Its budget was up by quite a lot, explaining why the characters can look so different in the pilot compared to the other episodes. After episode 2 came out, production was switched to a new version of Unreal Engine, which explains why it looks far better. Other changes were also made, such as Lizzie's hair changing from silver to golden, and her voice actor changing from Katie Hood to Caitlin Dizon. An untrained neural network is pretty much a drone infant. Yes, if you didn't know, drone reproduction is very much real. This is pretty much done by mixing the code of 2 drones and putting that into the neural network body. After the drone AI has matured, it is then put into an adult drone body. From the release of episode 2, we found out that Murder Drones would have 8 episodes. The thing about these 8 is, they were always titled as Season 1. They were always called Season 1 by Glitch, by Liam and the community. But then all of a sudden, before episode 8 released, Glitch and Liam Vickers started referring to it as the end and the finale. Nothing along the lines of season finale or end of season 1. While it is impossible to know what happened behind the scenes, it is possible that it was always an 8-episode deal with an evaluation at the end, which the show didn't pass. Most drones have their own serial number and product number. Let's take N as an example. His serial number is N0x00100010, and his product number is SYN-MYKX. The paper with the serial designation as drone has a different product number, because it is a different drone, most likely the Sentinel. Alice is quite the unusual drone with the antlers and such. But did you know she actually has a tail? Yeah, that's what she stabbed Uzi's hand with in episode 6. She made it and the antlers herself, possibly in an effort to make herself look like the episode Solver victims or disassembly drones. Scary Story Time with Liam is an old project from Liam Vickers. Parts of it are considered lost. It is just basically Liam's old creepypasta channel where he would read out both his and others' creepypastas, bringing us to Design is an original creepypasta from Liam, split into many parts and counting over 14 hours. The central plot of the story is about a life form called the left-hand parasite. These are believed to have been the primary inspiration for the Absolute Solver in Murder Drones. Before the release of some episodes, there would always be people who would swear up and down that, oh, this is actually going to be an episode 3.5, there will be a 40-minute sex scene. But yeah, those were just things people made up to gain some made-up internet points. The hero's journey is a sort of story archetype slash cliche that many stories over time have followed. Murder Drones also kind of goes by this story structure, which is blatantly shown in the first moments of the pilot. Or that was the plan, at least. It seems like changes made to the story throughout production sort of changed the way the story would go. The beginning and end bits do make sense, it's the middle part that is kind of all over the place. I've yet to see anyone make sense of it.
Oh! Whoa, we got wings! Oh! Literally, robot head, goodbye. Whoa, cut in half? Oh!
In V's original design, we can see that she has this sort of scarf thing, which she doesn't have in the actual show. It was made famous by the Gmod Murder Drones Pack add-on made by Mr. the Eye Wizard and an eye artist. Before the landing pod with Tessa and Jay on board makes contact, the other two landing pods crash down as they were unmanned and only contained Tessa's stuff from the mansion. Let Me In is a Murder Drones fan song by CG5. It stars Alana Fitzgerald reprising her role as Sim. It's average. On June 4th, all of AJ Desperito's music suddenly and magically disappeared from all streaming platforms. And there were only two things to blame: human greed and Urza's Destiny Beats. That was the name of a YouTube channel that copyright claimed all of Desperito's music, which of course includes the Murder Drone soundtrack. Due to this shitty YouTube copyright claim system, this random guy managed to single-handedly steal everything. This situation luckily only lasted around a week though. After that, all the music was returned to its rightful owner and Urza's Destiny Beats was finally defeated. Glitch received some funding in the past from Screen Australia, which is owned and managed by the government of Australia. They might still be getting some money from them, but it looks like the last time that happened was with Metarunner. Ah, fucking hell no. Well, this video is already getting age restricted, so here we go. Boozy Oozy is a very infamous art project made by Toy Slasher. Go ahead and read it if you are so inclined, but I will let you know that it is quite not safe for work. In episode 5 Home, we see the beginning of a JC Jensen videotape titled Zombie Drones. At the very beginning, we see the classic FBI anti-copying message. But if the FBI exists, then so do the United States of America. While we don't know how old this tape is, the mere fact that it exists means that the United States of America made it all the way to the drone age. Sexual dimorphism is a phenomenon in most organisms in which the female is visually different from the male. This is visible with disassembly drones, as the females have these tiny toothpick legs and are a bit smaller than the males, who on the other hand have bigger, flatter legs. Or are they built like this when the worker drones had absolutely no difference between sexes? Who knows. In episode 1 we see this poster. Quite funny, huh? This means that the drones are aware of being created as pretty much just slaves. After the coal meltdown of Copper 9 and their allegiance switch, they must be going through a pretty big identity crisis. Sin's voice actor is Alana Fitzgerald, who released their unedited lines on their channel.
Seems Jay forgot to let me out of my basement timeout again. Seems Jay forgot to let me out of my basement timeout again. Annoyed expression. Annoyed expression.
In Russian, there are two versions of the name Eve. There is Eva, and the one that's pretty much canon, Eva. However, we've never seen the name written in Cyrillic in any canon source, only the English transliteration, which is the same for both variants. Before Episode 7 Mass Destruction, we have never even heard the name spoken. But now we know that...
And red-eyed...
Yeah, this kid, I know, dummy.
...is the official pronunciation. Fun bonus fact, the only time we've ever seen Cyrillic in the series is in Episode 2, when the subtitles switch to English when Doll first talks. There's also the highly scuffed description in Russian on the box of her animates, but that's neither here nor there. The animates, small collectible figurines of Glitch Productions characters, were first released along with Episode 2 of Murder Drones. They were generally well liked, except for the fact that they often came decapitated. This is why after 2 years they were redesigned to be more wide and stocky, with the doll figure being the first to suffer this horrible fate, followed by weird smug Jay. Over the course of the series, pretty much every character switches their dominant hand at least once. This is of course just a slight visual error, because I highly doubt that anyone on the animation team did this intentionally. To make the production process of the show easier and cheaper, instead of making their own environments, Glitch just bought some pre-made ones on the Unreal Engine marketplace. The ones that have been tracked down are the Elliott Mansion, which is a remix of the Vintage Mansion Environment Kit, and the Cabin Fever Cathedral, which is just the Gothic Cathedral. It's kind of surreal to watch this realistic human knight walk around the cathedral from Murder Drones. The red malfunctioning sentinel, which we see in episode 6, was never actually named in the show. However, he was named by the community, Zbigniew. This name, which I like for no particular reasons, was widely used by the community, but then after episode 8, in which he had a more important role, there was a question at the Glitch in Discord, and well, guess his canon name is Sparky. Huh. Class of 09 is a brilliantly written social commentary piece in the form of a visual novel taking place in the late 2000s, horribly tainted by a third installation and the author behind it. The reason it is on this iceberg is that Elsie Lovelock voices Nicole, the anti-hero protagonist, and says some naughty no-no words in a voice very similar to that of Uzi.
I'm a thin girl. Do I fucking look like I play video games? I'd rather play dead at a necrophilia convention.
She also voices Nicole in Class of 09 The Re-Up, game sort of sequel but not really.
There's something I've been wanting to say lately.
Oh, what's that?
The N-word.
She voices Nicole in the Class of 09 anime.
Bitch, give me a fry.
Is that how you ask?
Bitch, please give me a fry.
And in the odd sequel, Class of 09 The Flip Side.
Dude, they're not gonna hire you unless you have like 15 pussy piercings.
What happened, SBN3? Did you need to put in 50 minutes of freaky foot fetish stuff in a 3-hour game? Damn, I really need to make a Class of 09 iceberg sometime. The artist Murder Drone 69 has created several body pillow designs based off Murder Drones. What is kinda unexpected is that someone actually got it printed and made.
This is all I got.
r/Church of Rebecca MD is a subreddit with 41 members at the time of writing. It is dedicated to celebrating Rebecca from Murder Drones. It's quite obscure but sometimes pops up in the mainstream Murder Drones subreddits. The Twins fanfic refers to the fanfic titled The Twins Non-Canon Alternate Universe series written based around the pilot and the pilot alone by the user The Twins on the Internet on the site Archive of Our Own, also known as AO3. It has 60 parts, all averaging around 2,500 words, altogether totaling a staggering 150,000 words. It was written after episode 1 pilot came out, and is thus only based off of the first episode. although it does use some out-of-universe information which wasn't known at the time, such as Doll's and Lizzie's names. It has gained infamy for its explicitity and just plain bizarreness. As we see in episode 5 Home, there were many worker drones at the mansion, only 3 of which are actually named, most likely because Tessa took them in after they were destroyed and had them as her friends. But what happened with these other butler drones? They most likely weren't resurrected and thus didn't have the Absolute Solver activated. It was only activated by Sin later on. Were these also rebuilt as murder drones? Are they the dead bodies we see in Cabin Fever Labs at the beginning of episode 6 Dead End? Probably not. In the beginning of episode 5 Home, as the zombie drones tape is playing, we can see this. A small percentage of people dispose of their JC Jensen drones because they want to get competitor products. Does this mean that there are other drones not manufactured by JCJ? If so, we certainly haven't seen them yet. The Sentinels are manufactured by JC Jensen, so are the workers, of course. The murder drones are made by Sin, but these weren't like commercially available, so where and who are they?
Does Italian cuisine exist on Copper 9?
Man, we're asking the real questions now. We gotta pause, we gotta freeze frame, we gotta zoom in on all the destroyed buildings and see if we got some pizzerias in there.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know, I guess. Even Liam doesn't know.
Even Liam doesn't know. We'll go on to the next question then.
Alright, let's.
In early, unpublished drafts of the pilot, Uzi had a green beanie, green jacket, and more pinkish hair. This is the only image we have of that draft. It was on the Glitch Productions website. While it is no longer there, it was there sometime after the pilot premiered, and it is visible on the Internet Archive. It leads one to wonder, what other changes were made? What did we lose? Well, looks like that's it. We've reached the bottom of the Murder Drones iceberg. Keep in mind that this voiceover was made on the 6th of October 2024, so if anything new relating to Murder Drones came out after this date, I wouldn't know about it. If I missed out anything that is out at the moment, I am sorry. Oh, right, it's been a year. I spent a year of my life on this. I mean, sure, it's not like I was working on this all the time, but still. The script is over 9,000 words long. That's longer than my final thesis. Well, I'd like to thank everyone who commented on my original iceberg image on Reddit and the Murder Drones community in general. Of course, this whole thing wouldn't be possible without the show itself, so huge props to the man Liam and everyone else. I'm not sure whether I will ever make another video, but I would sure love to. I just don't know what exactly. Plus, I kind of don't have as much free time as I used to when I started making this. But if you would like to see more videos from me, then be sure to leave a comment or like. This video is already long enough, so yeah, see ya. Or not. I don't know. Bye.